Hi, welcome to this week's Stalking the Wild Autoharp. And today we're going to talk about arpeggios. And there's two things that are frequently called arpeggios, and both are valid uses of the name. Arpeggio is Italian for harp-like, and in harp music you will hear both kinds of arpeggio used, and one is taught by default. So I'm going to teach you that first, or discuss it. You probably already do it, and I'm urging you to exaggerate it sometimes so that people know you're doing it. Basically, when we play a chord on the Autoharp, we are typically using maybe 3 fingers or 2 fingers and a thumb, and we're pulling it like that, so that all the notes sound at the same time. An arpeggio rolls that chord. And the best way to do it, to exaggerate it, is to start with your thumb and gradually roll through your fingers and actually lift your thumb off. And to give you a real clear idea, just do it with your thumb. And you know, if I was doing it on the piano, it would be 3 or 4 notes with a little vertical squiggle written in front of it to show that I'm to roll the chord like that. My piano's not turned on, so you can't hear it, but that's the idea. That's the first kind of arpeggio. And when harp players, not autoharp, but harp, play a chord, they do that by default. That doesn't have to be written into the music. That's the way they're always going to do it, unless they're told to do otherwise, and they're going to roll the chord. And that can really make your music sound nice and harpy. Okay, so that's arpeggio 1. The other thing that's meant by arpeggio is where you take a chord and you break it up amongst your different fingers in a gently rolling up and down pattern. And there's lots of different shapes that you can give to that, that rolling pattern. One that I like to practice just to get it even is starting with thumb and then going index, middle, ring, middle, index. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So it's a 3/4 arpeggio. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. And that can sound real pretty behind something you're singing. Now how many times have you heard someone say If I had his money, I'd do things my way. A little they know, it's so hard to find one rich man in 10 with a satisfied mind. So practice that real slow and learn to get it real even. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and if you want to turn it into a 4/4 roll, or excuse me, not a roll, but an arpeggio, add an extra thumb index at the end, and that sounds real pretty. It sounds like this. So thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, thumb. So you're just adding an extra thumb index at the end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So you're doing thumb on 1 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Let me move in closer, or I move my camera a little closer. So that you can really see my fingers while I do it. Now here's another pretty little trick that you can practice. On 1, pinch with your pinky and your thumb. So you can add pinches into your arpeggio, and by doing that, you can play some melody in there too. That's a little more advanced, and I'm going to leave that up to you to practice as to how to fit that in. There's all different kinds of shapes that you can give these. You don't have to rise and fall and rise and fall. You can rise a little bit and fall a bit, rise a little bit and fall a bit, or you can do. So it's going like that. But the idea is to pick a pattern and do it again and again and again and again and get it real smooth and relaxed. And ultimately, the most important thing is to relax your hand while you're doing it. It's see, what's another one? You start at the top and go down and come back up. And move in close so you can see that one. So on that one, I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Oops, excuse me. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's a lot easier to do them than to really think about what you're doing. And that's the real secret to this, is don't think too hard about it. Just play pretty shapes with your fingers doing different patterns, and then play that pattern over and over and over and really work it in, and then forget all about it and just let it come out in your melody playing where it fits, and you'll find that it comes out in all kinds of ways. Arpeggios fit really well with pinch pluck too. This pinch pluck is really a short arpeggio pattern, as our banjo rolls. So there you go. That's a sort of scattered introduction to playing arpeggios, and the main thing to do is just pick a pattern, practice it nice and slow. Whatever it's going to be. I can play dozens of them as long as I don't think about it too much. So practice these. Find a pattern, play it over and over again, relax, and then change it up a little bit and see what happens. Okay? I'm Hal Weeks. That's this week's Stalking the Wild Autoharp. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And remember that I teach privately. I can work with you online through Skype and watch what you're doing and give you the next step. And the next step after that too. And I'd be glad to talk with you about that. Go to my website, halweeks.com, and there's information there about my lessons. And until then, keep on harping, okay? We'll see you later.